it's preseason and the Cavs are basically in panic mode. Everything that happened from Kyrie Irving leaving to Dwayne Wade coming to the team to J.R. Smith being unhappy playing a bench role to Tristan Thompson also being unhappy, Kevin Love finding out from LeBron James that he is now the center. It is a culmination of all these things that have the Cleveland Cavaliers organization in full panic mode, and it looks like they're slowly imploding. Currently, Kyrie Irving looks like the smartest man that was ever in the room by getting out when he did. He actually waited to get out of the organization after this past NBA Finals because he didn't want to be a distraction. And boy, have the Cavs had a ton of distractions. Dwayne Wade apparently was supposed to be a godsend for the Cavs to bolster their bench. J.R. Smith was told that Dwayne Wade would be coming off the bench in a capacity to bolster the bench and assist in that way. All of a sudden, J.R. Smith no longer in starting position. Dwayne Wade named the starter. Of course, J.R. Smith was hurt. He felt blindsided due to the simple fact that he sacrificed a lot of his ways that he used to be. He bolstered his defense. He fit the role of the shooting guard for the Cavs to a T because all they wanted him to do is play defense and shoot jumpers. All this so-called playmaking that they wanted, now they're trying to implement in the team, two-way players, guys that can handle the ball and make plays. That's not what they wanted in the past 3 years. The past 3 years, the Cavs really wanted LeBron James and Kyrie Irving to handle the ball and everybody else to shoot jumpers. That's all they wanted. That was their blueprint. And now they're getting away from their blueprint because they got rid of Richard Jefferson, one of the guys that they felt like was a knockdown shooter and a defender. They're moving J.R. Smith to the bench and bringing in Dwayne Wade, who's not even a great three-point shooter. So spacing on the floor is going to be out of whack. But can we talk about this full domino effect? Ever since Kyrie Irving has left, it seems like Cleveland has been in flux. LeBron James essentially came out of the woodwork and told Kevin Love in a meeting, hey, you're going to be the new starting center. It's just like, isn't that supposed to come from a coach? Isn't that supposed to come from upper management, not from your teammate? And we all know that LeBron James is le GM. So we know he's basically playing a role of GM, coach. He's influencing a whole lot of roles. But at the end of the day, there has to be some kind of modicum of respect. There has to be some kind of order in the organization where we see that, okay, we have the best player, but we're not going to acquiesce the best player to be making these decisions. And Tyronn Lue tries to clean it up and say, oh, I told Kevin Love, etc. So if you told Kevin Love, why did Kevin Love go on TNT and say that LeBron told him he's going to be a starting center? So is Kevin Love lying or are you lying? I'm more inclined to believe Tyronn Lue's lying because he wants to save face for the Cleveland organization. Even when they were asking about Kyrie Irving's comments about, he's driving into Boston, it's a real live sports town. He said, I thought they were talking about Cleveland. Well, how can we think that Cleveland is a real live sports town? Or we'll just take your organization. How can we believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers is a real life sports organization, like represents the fans, when one guy is essentially holding the entire staff, coaching staff, the players hostage, LeBron James? Kyrie Irving said no more of this, and he got out of there. So this is an intriguing couple of months for the Cleveland Cavaliers where you get new faces. They have Wade, D-Wade, Derrick Rose, Green, Isaiah Thomas, Crowder. They have 6 new faces. And all of this drama that they're having absolutely makes no sense. And then the thing that you got to factor in as well is when they traded RJ, they traded him for draft picks and cash consideration. So basically, Cavs are pretty much trying to prepare for a life without LeBron. All the moves that they're basically making they're trying to win now, but you can kind of see the shift is panic mode, where they're saying, well, you know what? There's just a lot of drama going. There's just a lot of things going on, and we just basically have to start addressing the year after this one. Because moving Kevin Love to the 5 basically is preparing them for small ball for this year, but also going to be preparing them for Kevin Love in the future, being a center, playing 4 or 5, getting used to that, having Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and then they try to draft somebody else or bring in some other guys or make another trade, make another deal. So if LeBron leaves, which it almost feels like that's a foregone conclusion. LeBron is basically leaving, even though his reputation might take a hit, even though he might not be able to win on any other team. Like let's say he goes to the West, he might not be able to win there. It's a foregone conclusion because there's so much dysfunction on his team, and that's how it's always been in that organization. You can recall the first time he left the Cleveland Cavaliers, there were rumors floating around with inappropriate dealings with his family members and his teammates, and people stabbing him in the back, and just multitude of things. He comes back to Cleveland, it's the same deal all over again. At least in Miami, it was more of a man's game where it was like Pat Riley didn't see it this way, I didn't see it this way. But in Cleveland, it's just like a free-for-all. JR is disrespected. Tristan Thompson is disrespected. They're shooting the Kardashian show in the Cleveland Cavaliers locker room. That just goes to show you how much like dysfunction and crazy, like the whole atmosphere of a team, the sanctity of a team, and everything staying in house is completely gone. It's been evaporated due to all this chaos that's been going on during the offseason. Isaiah Thomas, he doesn't seem happy to be there. He's saying the trade doesn't make sense to him, and he's still trying to make sense of the trade. This is a trade you would make in 2K. Instead of being happy to play with one of the best players to ever play the game, he's still brewing over what happened to him in Boston. Where in Cleveland, let's just say he goes to the finals, he has like a good performance, and he's able to play and be Isaiah Thomas that we all love and know. He can get that $180, $200 million contract. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland could re-sign him, if they're willing to do so. So this is an incredible season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everything that they're doing is basically, it's panic mode. It's panic mode. It's like all hands on deck. Like, I would never have foreseen that J.R. Smith would have openly and publicly said that he was upset that he had to come off the bench. Because it was a shakeup. That whole, when Kyrie left, it was a shakeup because they had to go away from the blueprint. That LeBron, that 1-2 punch of Kyrie and LeBron, it's no more. And now they have to find other people to score, bench players to score. Kevin Love had to step up more. And now J.R. Smith feels disrespected. Tristan Thompson's coming off the bench. And it's just like, you just took two of your best defenders off the starting lineup to put in a 35-year-old veteran and a guy at the 5 position who's not a great defender, who in the pick and roll will get killed. So this is crazy. This is like it's just a bad vibe there. And one of the key things that was crazy is Jay Crowder was saying that Tyronn Lue has already got them ready to face Golden State. They're going over plays to how to stop certain things that they do, how to defeat them. It's like, dude, you still have to play your season. You still have to gel. You guys still have to find out where your offense is coming from. I watched 2 or 3 of the preseason games, and they look horrible. They look horrible. When I mean horrible, it's not like timing is off, nothing like that. I mean, when it comes to like spacing, when it comes to defensive principles, it looks like now they're basically just trying to outscore teams. And it's like there's not enough sets. And that has always been the problem with LeBron James. It's never been his talent. It's never been who he's played with. To me, in my opinion, it's always been coaching, implementing sets, implementing things where LeBron James doesn't have to run the whole show. Because as soon as LeBron comes on the floor, it's still the same deal. Even with Dwayne Wade on the floor, it's like, D Rose is coming off the bench and stuff and pushing the ball, but D Rose can't shoot. I saw teams sagging off of him in preseason. What you think is going to happen during the regular season? So this is a very interesting season for the Cavs. I feel like they're imploding. I feel like this is a fire sale for them. They're going for broke, and then if it doesn't work, adios LeBron, and usher in a new era of Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, and Kevin Love, and that's not a bad team if you think about it. That's not a bad team. So I feel like this is really bad news for them. Like for those guys, Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith, to really come out of the woodwork and say that they're not happy. And you got to understand that, they were a team before Wade got there. Wade gets there, and it's like the dynamic changes. It's like, Kevin Love noticed that. He said, peanut butter and jelly over there. And that, even though it was a joke, it's kind of like a little dig. and it's a little sign of jealousy. Like, okay, these guys are buddy now. Like, he done forgot about us. We've been together for 3 years, and all of a sudden Wade comes back and it's like, oh, well, whatever. So, so there is a lot of disrespect that's going on there. Kyrie is vindicated by his decision. You see it now. We all have to see it now, and we have to respect his decision to want to leave, because now we see an organization that is completely in flux. They're making a lot of moves that are very dangerous, because you got to factor this in. The East is easy to get out of. That's not a problem. But it's hard to go to the finals repeatedly if you keep switching up your team early and often. And it's hard to win the finals when you keep bringing in new faces early and often. Cavs have at least 6 new faces. 6 new guys to learn their role. Even if they would get to the finals, I think there will be such a level of discomfort there that if a team was to go on a 10-0 run, 20-0 run, 15-2 run, 15-8 run, they would implode. And that's what they're doing right now. The organization's already doing it. I'm just waiting for the team to do it right on the court. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction. Hoops me super. Peace.